Hello teachers, this is a video tutorial on how to input SWIS referrals. So you're going to go to pbisapps.org. I would suggest to pin this to your desktop or even on your bar right here of pinned items just by hitting the star. That way you have that consistently if you need to use it. You're going to go to this area right here. This is where you log in, and it'll be this PBIS applications login. And you're going to put in your username, which is your email, and then your password. If you don't know your password, just go to forgot password, and then it's going to send you an email to update your password and go through that process. And then you can log in. I always put remember me for 2 weeks because then I don't have to put in my information each time. So when you log in, this is the screen that you're going to see. This is the referral entry only screen. You're going to put in majors and minors, typically mostly minors. I'm going to talk about the difference between majors and minors in a moment and talk about kind of our flow chart and definitions and kind of descriptors of those behaviors. So you're going to go to student. This is a drop-down menu. So if you start typing the student's name, it's going to auto-populate and then go right in there, and then the grade will also auto-populate as well. It will also let you know if there's an IEP status. So we did have some tech issues with this last year. I know they're still working on getting that fixed as far as what classifies or what category under IEP. So some of those were jumbled in the past, and I know they're working on that. Also, if you're like, I'm new to Briarwood, I'm new to Issaquah, don't worry. They're doing an upload through Skyward to make sure all the new employees are in the system, and I'll be reaching out to you as well. So if you have any questions or anything, don't worry, I'm gonna be reaching out to you so we can make sure that you're up and ready to go on SWIS. So SWIS is used as our behavior tracking system. So if you see a behavior happen in the virtual environment or the brick and mortar environment, then you're going to give 3 redirections, typically nonverbal. You might have a verbal redirection. When you do give one, if you're in the virtual setting, please send it to the breakout room, have that private conversation so it's just between you and the student and the entire class doesn't see or hear. Then you're going to go to the staff. That area should already be filled in under your name and your account, so you won't have to worry about that. The date. Now I want to talk about the date and time a little bit. In the past, teachers have wrote down an incident that might happen on a sticky note. I strongly suggest that in the moment. And then they put that information in here. They're putting it in at the end of the day, but they forget to change the date and time. It's really important that you make sure the date and time are correct because it gives us accurate information when we're doing a behavior analysis under the data that we have in front of us. And it also helps us locate the space and area that the behavior is happening so we can place interventions in that space to hopefully help with some of those behaviors, especially if they become persistent. One thing you want to do always is put in the notes section. In the notes section, you want to put just a little synopsis of what happened, 1-2 sentences to let us know what's going on. Because what I can do is I can generate reports and have all those notes so I can look at trends and behavior, and we can look at trends and behavior. That information can be used at IEP meetings, can be used at 504 meetings, can be used just talking with the parents and telling them what you're seeing in the classroom, with very specifics of date and time, and it's all recorded in our tracking system and kept for since this has happened, so 2 years ago. The location where the behavior occurred, yes, it does have digital learning as an option on here, so you can just go there. Problem behavior, what is the problem behavior? Is it disrespect, defiance, disruption? Those are our 3 main categories, but of course there's other areas that they might classify as well. One thing you don't want to do is put this other box. Whenever you see other, stay away from that. That does not give us conclusive data or even a shot of knowing what the problem behavior is. So please do not put other because it can tend to skew our data. If you do have an other situation, please reach out to me or Taryn or Tia, and we can go ahead and talk more about what it might classify under. Perceived motivation. So this is, you're going to take a shot at trying to analyze or understand why this student is doing that target behavior. Are they trying to gain your attention? Are they trying to gain the attention of their peers? Are they trying to avoid or gain something? Again, in this other and unknown motivation, please do not put that. Again, that messes up the data a little bit in understanding what the perceived motivation might be. So what's the function of their behavior is basically what you're thinking. Others involved, who else was involved? If it was the whole class, you could put peers, especially in this kind of Zoom environment. Action taken. So again, this other action taken, do not put that because that has trouble with our data, but you can go ahead and put whatever it may be that the consequence or action was. Note if it is a major behavior and it is sent, I'm going to talk about that process in just a moment, but if it's sent to Taryn or myself and we go through that behavior, there'll be an email that goes out to all parties involved explaining what happened and the consequences, and then I update this in SWIS. So you might put action pending and send for review. If you put action pending, send for review, that means the behavior incident happened and there is an action or consequence on its way, but it has not hit the system or it hasn't resolved yet. So when you put action pending, please put send for review, what that does. And any referral that you want us to review, put send for review. That goes to a special inbox area on SWIS for me to look at, review, and then someone will reach out to remedy the situation. Maybe typically Taryn will follow up and then she'll let me know and I'll input it into the system. And again, an email will go out. Typically seclusion restraint, that you're not gonna fill that in. If you have a situation like that, we're gonna be involved and hopefully that doesn't have to happen. Now, if you have a minor incident between two students and you wanna put a referral in for both of them, I'm gonna talk to you about this ... and copy button here, this little click box that's going to save you some time. So if you click that, you put in all the information of the behavior incident, you write some notes, you put in the date and time, all that for the first student. You click this and copy and save as complete. What's going to do, it's going to auto-populate all that information for the next student, and all you have to do is put in that student's name, saves you a lot of time. This entire process typically takes about a minute, 2 minutes, depending, but it's real quick. So again, if you want me to review any of the behavior incident reports, please put send for review. You can also save as a draft and come to it later. If you start putting it in and have to go do something, save it as a draft and then it'll be available later for you to look at. Then let's talk about majors and minors. So you have a minor incident, student maybe in the brick and mortar setting is tapping, you've asked them 3 times or you've given 3 redirections and they don't stop tapping, or at that point they do, but we're still putting them in SWIS. That's considered a minor. And you don't need to send that for review, it's just a data tracking area. You might want some support after the behavior becomes persistent or over multiple days. Now, a major incident, we have, like I said, a major and minor flow chart, which you're going to see in the newsletter, and you're also going to see it's in our OneNote as well on our PBSES website, and those are classifiers of what defiance may be under a major and under a minor. So please be sure to review that. And again, I'll be reaching out just to make sure you have a deep understanding of how we're tracking there. In addition, you'll see SWIS reminders. That's going to go out. It's gone out in the past, but it's what to do with SWIS or how to do SWIS. And it's just a little page that you can print out, tape on your computer or by your computer. And it gives you some reminders of how to log in and what you might need, and just some reminders about these buttons. If you have any questions, I'm here for you for all your SWIS needs, and I'd love to go over it and go deeper. This data really helps us inform our decisions, the decisions PBSES makes together, and we review this data monthly. It's also up in the staff room, so please be sure to check that out as well. Thank you so much. Have a good day.